Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a vast, dark forest, there lived a woodcutter and his family. Times were hard, and food was scarce, which left the woodcutter and his wife, a harsh and unforgiving stepmother to their children, Hansel and Gretel, deeply troubled. The stepmother, unable to bear the burden of starvation any longer, convinced the woodcutter that they must abandon the children in the forest so there would be enough food for the two of them. Reluctant but desperate, the woodcutter agreed. Early one morning, as the sun barely touched the sky with its golden rays, the family set out into the heart of the forest. Hansel, sensing something amiss, gathered small white stones and discreetly dropped them along the path, creating a trail back to the village. After reaching a deep part of the forest, the parents left the children, promising to return. As darkness enveloped the forest, Hansel and Gretel waited until the moon cast its silvery light, illuminating the path of stones and leading them safely back home. Angered and threatened by the children's return, the stepmother devised another plan. This time, she took them further into the forest with only a piece of bread, instructing them to follow her gentle humming as she walked ahead. Realizing her plan, Hansel left a trail of breadcrumbs instead of stones, but alas, birds soon devoured them, and the children found themselves lost among the towering trees. For days, Hansel and Gretel wandered through the forest, surviving on berries and fresh spring water. Just when desperation threatened to overwhelm them, they stumbled upon something extraordinary, a magnificent house built entirely of cakes, candies, and chocolates. Starving and exhausted, the siblings eagerly approached and began to eat the delicious walls. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and out stepped an old woman with eyes sharp as a hawk's and a sickly sweet smile. Inviting them inside with promises of sumptuous meals and soft beds, the children entered cautiously. Little did they know, this was no kindly grandmother, but a wicked witch who lured children to feast on them. As days turned to nights, the crafty witch imprisoned Hansel in a cage and forced Gretel to cook and clean, fattening her brother for an unspeakable feast. Doors were deceptively open, but the witch's keen senses and powerful magic trapped them within her sinister domain. But Gretel, as brave as she was clever, devised a plan. Playing dumb, she convinced the witch to show her how to prepare the oven. As the witch leaned in, Gretel pushed her inside, slamming the door shut. The witch's yells grew faint until they were no more. Freeing Hansel, the children explored the witch's house and discovered hidden treasures, gems, gold, and precious stones. Filling their pockets with as much as they could carry, Hansel and Gretel followed shimmering sunlight through the trees, eventually finding their way home. Their father, relieved of his wicked wife's presence by the witch's end, welcomed them with open arms. With enough wealth to last a lifetime, the family lived happily together, their home never again darkened by hunger or loss. Thus, the tale of Hansel and Gretel ends, a story of courage, cunning, and the unwavering bond of family.